I'll never forget that night. She slipped into our bed at 3 a.m., thinking I was asleep. But what I did next left her ashamed and changed everything. That's how it all started. My name is Ethan Collins. I'm 34, and I run a small artisan furniture studio in Asheville, North Carolina. 3 years ago, I met Sophia Lane, 31, a talented chef who had just opened her own farm-to-table restaurant in town. At first, we were a dream team. I'd close my shop early to help her with late deliveries. She'd bring me little boxers of new recipes. We loved hiking the Blue Ridge Parkway on Sundays. We talked about building a life together, not marriage yet, but a shared future. A home filled with her food and my handmade tables. Everything seemed perfect. Then, about a year in, Sophia's schedule started changing. She said the restaurant needed networking nights with local suppliers and food bloggers. At first, I believed her business was booming, but then she'd come home smelling of cologne I didn't recognize. Her phone, she started living face down on the counter. She began dressing up more, yet brushed off my compliments. I noticed she'd stop texting me while she was at events, then send me a vague headed home soon message hours later. I tried to shrug it off, but the pit in my stomach grew heavier each week. One Thursday night, she said she'd be at a wine tasting with a local supplier. By 1 a.m., she still wasn't home. I lay awake, lights off. At 3 a.m., the front door clicked. She crept in quietly, heels in her hand, perfume heavy in the air. She slipped into bed, thinking I was asleep. That's when I whispered, "How was the wine tasting, Sophia?" She froze. Her breathing went shallow. "Good," she muttered, eyes shut tight. I turned on the lamp and held up my phone. On the screen was an Instagram story of her, in a private lounge, leaning close to a man I'd never met. My friend from the restaurant scene had sent it to me, her face drained of color. "Ethan, I can explain," she stammered. But the heartbreak hit like a freight train. My chest burned with anger and disbelief. I didn't yell. I simply got out of bed, grabbed a pillow, and slept on the couch. The next morning, while she was still asleep, I quietly packed my essentials and left. Instead of a dramatic confrontation, I poured my energy into action. I called my friend Caleb, who owned a workshop in Savannah, Georgia, and asked if he still needed a partner. Within 2 weeks, I'd relocated there, expanded my business, and built a new showroom. Meanwhile, word spread in Asheville about Sophia's networking nights. The man she was seen with turned out to be a married food blogger whose wife exposed them both publicly. Her reputation took a serious hit. I never posted anything or slandered her. I just let the truth speak for itself. When she called me months later, crying and apologizing, I didn't answer. I'd built something better for myself. It's been a year since that night. My new workshop is thriving, and I've met people who respect my craft and my character. Looking back, I realize my calm response that night was my power. By walking away and focusing on building my life, I achieved the sweetest form of justice, success, and peace. Sometimes the strongest response to betrayal isn't shouting or revenge. It's reclaiming your dignity and walking away to a life you deserve. For more real-life stories of heartbreak, revenge, and transformation, subscribe to SilkMirror and never miss an episode.